Today's guest is leading the way in destroying Islam in Iran.
We have a window of maybe like 6 months to get this shit done.
After escaping the country at the age of 13, he mastered the art of media and politics to take his country back.
I was born in Iran and I moved to this country when I was 13 years old. I saw a lot of things: the oppression, lack of freedom of speech, the brutality of the Islamic Republic. And I have first-hand experience. My family was affected by the Islamic Republic and they were treated very badly.
He's rallying behind the crown prince and leading the way for change in Iran.
But I think Pahlavism is a mentality, is a state of mind. And I always say this, look, Iran could have been Dubai times 1,000.
In this episode, we'll explore how they got themselves in this mess and what the Iranian people really want and what will happen next.
So you go from thousands of people dying to only 30, which is a low number. So the Islamic Republic, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they kill people, then America will respond. If they don't kill people, the protests will get bigger and bigger and you'll lead to a revolution.
His name, Yunus Sadagiani. Ladies and gentlemen, patriots, welcome back to the show. I'm sure you guys have seen the news. It's everywhere now. Maybe not on BBC, maybe not on the mainstream media, but when you go on the platform like X, platform like Instagram, where people who want to know the truth, this news is everywhere. It's trending every single time. And Trump has weighed in as well, saying that he's locked and loaded. And I'm talking about Iran. As you already know, the Iranian people have been fighting for their rights. They've been fighting for their freedom. And last time we seen something like the mass protest that we seen, the last time we seen this was 2022 when a young lady, 22 years old, was shot for not wearing her hijab properly. But this time is very different. This time is bigger than ever. And it looks like the Iranian regime is on its knees. And there's one person in the UK who has been leading the way, who has been appearing in a lot of news outlets, explaining to the world what's going on in Iran. And it's important for me to get him in on this show so he can explain to us what's truly happening in Iran, especially him being born in Iran and having ties to Iran. You know, it's not just, it's more than just news for him. It's freedom. It's history. And of course, it has a lot to do with his background and his life, and that's why it's important for me to bring him on. And he goes by the name of none other than Yunus Sadagiani.
Yunus Sadagiani. It's okay.
Yunus Sadagiani. I mean, how are you, Yunus? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You can call me Yunus Rocks, like my Instagram handle.
Yunus Rocks. I was gonna say that, but obviously since since we have to be more professional now.
Yeah, for sure.
So Yunus, could you just briefly explain to the viewers who you are? Because I've looked around who you are. I've read a lot of articles, but they didn't really give me an explanation of who you really are. Could you just give us a little background of who you are? And then we're going to get into what's going on in Iran.
So I'm a political analyst. I studied politics and international relations at London School of Economics. I was born in Iran and I moved to this country when I was 13 years old. Right. I saw a lot of things as I was growing up in the Islamic Republic: the oppression and the lack of freedom of speech, the brutality of the Islamic Republic. And I have first-hand experience in the schooling system, just living. Also, my family was affected by the Islamic Republic and they were treated very badly. So obviously I had the lived experience of being born in Iran under the Islamic Republic. I came to this country, I ended up going to university, I studied politics. When I came out of university, I'd done a bunch of different jobs, any job you can imagine, even throughout university. So I used to work in sports, fitness, events. I worked in finance for a bit, marketing, acting and modeling.
Oh.
And towards the end of my 20s, I realized that, look, I have a passion for politics, but also have a passion for media. So I was like, why don't I just combine the two and, make something out of it that way? And obviously, I thought I started making videos about 2 years ago. And I didn't just speak about Iran. Let's just make it clear. I spoke about everything. I spoke about Trump. I spoke about the woke mind virus. I spoke about Islamism. And obviously, Iran is a part of the conversation, especially now. And obviously, because I was Iranian and I was born in Iran and I studied politics, I feel like I have a bit of an authority on this subject. So obviously, this asked me a lot about Iran. So yeah, I've just been traveling the world recently. I was in Israel 3 times in the last, I was in Israel 3 times in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Um, I was with the foreign ministry. I met with IDF. I met with Mossad agents. I even went to Gaza, border of Gaza. I saw the destruction that happened during October 7th. I even went to the border of Lebanon. I was in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Haifa, everywhere. Shredot, there was a film festival there. I also went to the States.
Mm.
And also went to the United Nations, went to Miami, just doing conferences and giving speeches and doing interviews. So that's what I've been doing. And obviously, the issue of Iran is very hot at the moment because during the 12-day war, I was all over the media, speaking about Iran and hopefully this will be the end. But it didn't quite happen then.
Mm-hmm.
I think something has been brewing for the last 6 months. And I think what has been brewing is that the whole world saw how incompetent and how stupid and how, what we say, paper tiger. They try to be tough. The Islamic Republic tries to be tough, but in reality, just got a big slap by Israel and America during the 12-day war. And I
That's
think
right.
Iranians inside Iran saw that.
Mm-hmm.
So now people are not scared anymore, especially with Donald Trump coming out and saying he's going to be locked and loaded and he's going to back up Iranians. I think we're in historic times. I really do. I think this might be the last time Iranian people need to protest because they already took over a city in Iran. They took over the city in Abadan. So this has never happened before. So if they manage to take over cities, it's only a matter of time before the people can take over the country.
Yeah, that's the difference here because when we've seen a lot of protests before in Iran, and it wasn't this big, and the fact that when Trump was in, sorry, when Obama was in, when there
Mhm.
was protests over there, Obama said, "Hey, the world is watching." That's what Obama said
Yeah,
when he was in
that's
power.
not enough, is it?
Yeah, the world is watching. That's what he said. And when Biden was in 2022, when that young lady was shot for not wearing her hijab
Yeah,
properly, obviously mass protest, a lot of people took it to the street, and Biden didn't do anything.
yeah,
But this time is different because we have I mean, the world has, I mean, Maduro has got, Maduro found out the hard way, right? But this
yeah,
time is different because Donald Trump, this is what he has said. If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their costume, the United
yeah,
States of America will come to their rescue. We are
yeah,
locked and loaded. This is,
yeah,
and given what we've seen in June when Trump went out there and bombed Iran, nuclear facilities.
hmm
I mean, it just it shows that this is not just rhetoric because they've done it before and they've put them on their knees. So you was asked on GB News if you welcome Trump involvement in Iran to freeing the people of Iran, and
yes.
you did not get to finish what you were getting at because obviously they had they got slots. They need to move quick as news are going on. Could you tell the people what are the Iranians up for this? Is this something? Are they ready for foreign interference to come help them out?
100%. And I think the fact that Trump said we are locked and loaded has given Iranian confidence like never seen before.
That's right.
And because look, for the last 47 years, the Iranian people protested many, many times. And they never had international support. So over time, the Islamic Republic used to just kill people, shoot people, put people in prison, and eventually the protests died down. But this time is different. The Islamic Republic is scared to kill its own people because they have this threat by Donald Trump. And, by recent evidence, that Donald Trump is a doer. He just doesn't talk. When he says he will do something, he will do it. Just exactly like what happened with Maduro.
Mm.
So I think the people, like 30 people have died in the last 11 days, which is not a small number.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
lot of
But in the
people.
past, thousands of people used to die.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands. So you go from thousands of people dying to only 30, which is a low number. So the Islamic Republic, they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they kill people, then America will respond. If they don't kill people, the protests will get bigger and bigger and it will lead to a revolution.
Mm.
So they just basically find themselves in a position where they're actually in a checkmate position almost. Like they're almost one or two moves away from a checkmate. And obviously, if you play chess, you know what I mean. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no way
Yeah.
they can get out of this.
Yeah, they're a lot. Basically, they have no options for them because the other option that they had, which was obviously silence them by brutality, by evil means, they can't go to that option anymore because obviously United States is locked and loaded. And now,
Yeah, of
if they don't
course.
do anything, the people will just get, it will get bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where they will have no mandate to lead. And they never had any mandate to lead. Now, a lot of people who are waking up to this are probably thinking, like, hey, what is going on? Could you help us? Because now we are talking about what's going on today, what's happening the last 6 days since the uprising in Iran, the last maybe 2 weeks. But could you take us back on how this Islamic Republic of obviously the RGC came into being? Or maybe if you can go even further before the Shah, maybe when Mohammed Mossadegh was involved, maybe in 1950s. You can take us from there, from what you can remember as an Iranian, and obviously also from what you've seen, what you lived, because I'm sure you can probably remember how it was like when you was young, growing up there. So explain to us how we got here, please, if you
Okay,
can.
so basically, look, the Iranian history is very, very complex and it's very deep.
Right.
So Iran is one of the first countries in the world. It is the first country in the world that was ever institutionalized during Cyrus the Great. So we are the first ever state to exist. So we have a very, very rich history.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, our bond with the Israelis and the Jewish people goes back 3,500 years. We're originally Zoroastrian, we're not even Muslim. And, Cyrus the Great basically pretty much conquered all from the edge of Europe to the edge of China. Anyway, moving on forward, we was conquered by Islam about 1,400 years ago. And it took us, it took them 300 years to conquer us. And the only way they could conquer Persians was by forcing them to convert to Islam, by beheading them, by
Mm.
killing them, by
Mm.
torturing them, or, forcing them to pay jizya, right?
Oh yeah.
And then it also took Iranians another 300 years just to get rid of them, okay? But I think during those 300 years that the Arabs used to, rule over us, they kind of spread their poison. And I think the Islamic Republic is the second coming of what happened 1,400 years ago, right?
Right.
In terms of Masoud Mossadegh, look, Iran is a very rich country in the world. It would, about 100 years ago, they discovered oil in Iran. And obviously, British Petroleum took control of Iranian oil. And people like Masoud Mossadegh were saying, well, the oil should be nationalized. It shouldn't belong to the British. And he's completely correct. But then the Shah
That's right.
came, and the Shah was installed by Americans and the British, actually, to tell you the truth, even although I'm a
Yeah.
big,
So
big.
so
Yeah, so let me just
so
finish this
the
point.
go on,
So
yeah.
he actually nationalized the oil. The Shah nationalized the oil, and they started, setting the price for oil back in 1960s and 1970s. And the British and the Americans couldn't take it because Iran was becoming very rich very fast, and there was actually an energy crisis in Europe and in America. So what do? They go and recruit this Islamic cleric called Khomeini. They give him money, they do propaganda against the Shah, and he actually leads to the revolution. And guess what? When Khomeini got into power, he backstabbed the West and backstabbed America. So
That's right.
that's like a very brief history of what happened, what got us into here in the first place. So it was actually President Carter and the British lefty government. And it's so funny that always these lefties always collaborate with Islamists
Mm.
to overthrow democratically elected governments, which was the Shah. Okay. So now what is
No, wait,
happening?
hold on.
Yeah, go
Hold
on.
on. But before the Shah got in, the Shah was in there from 1953 to 1979. And before you
No, so
got
okay,
there,
so what happened was that Shah's father, Reza Pahlavi,
that's right.
took control after World War One because Iran was going through a lot of problems. There was like a famine in Iran because during World War War,
Yeah,
supplies didn't get to Iran. A
that's right.
lot of people died during World War One, even though they were like not part of World War. But I think Iran had one of the biggest death tolls in World War One, and that was due to the famine that was caused actually by the British, believe it or not.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
anyway,
obviously, the British are really
yeah,
good at starving people. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
a lot of country can testify, including Ireland. But carry on.
Exactly. So uh, Reza Shah comes into power. He basically brings Iran to the 20th century. He starts building roads, he starts building infrastructure, factories,
Hmm.
universities, just modernizing Iran.
That's right.
And, he used to collaborate with a lot of German engineers.
Right.
And these German engineers, the reason why he liked the Germans was because they were very good at engineering. They were very good at building trains and tracks and buildings and
Mm.
stuff. And also, if you read Mein Kampf from Hitler, in Mein Kampf, Hitler says that Iranians are Aryans and hence why they are a superior race, right?
Mm.
Now, Reza Shah didn't have anything to do with this and he was not a fan of Hitler. But then this was used as a token by the British against them, saying, oh, you use German engineers. And guess what? In Hitler's book, he praised Iranians and Aryans, hence why you're a Nazi sympathizer, which is
Wow.
completely untrue, which is
Hmm.
completely untrue and unfounded. So
Yeah.
what do? They Mossadegh comes into power. So they sideline Reza Shah, they put Mossadegh in charge, and Mossadegh was like a lefty Marxist type of person, right? He was very socialist, and he comes into power for like 2 years, from 51 to 53,
That's right.
right?
Yeah, that's correct.
But then during those times, the country wasn't run very well. So what happens is that the Shah, which is the Mohammad Reza Shah, which is the son of Reza Shah, comes and takes over control from
Mm.
Mossadegh. So that's the journey Iran
So
went
so
through. And
so
yeah,
so just to simplify for people, because obviously I've been the last couple of days I've been focusing on this. So the British took away the Shah for being somehow tied to Hitler. They brought
yeah,
this communist guy, lefty guy, but because of the Cold War, they feared that
yeah,
Russia might take control of Iran, so they
exactly.
toppled him to bring back the Shah.
Exactly.
Then they got in bed with the with the Islamists and the
Yeah.
communists and the socialists to take the Shah in 1979 to bring this, obviously.
Khomeini. And
I
guess
mean,
what? Khomeini is the
it's
only
just
one that
insane,
backs
right?
her. It is insane. It is insane.
What?
And it's usually the lefty governments that do this. It's the
Mm,
lefty government that do this. And the excuse was that during the 70s, because they were scared of the Soviet Union, they were
mm,
like, oh, we need a Islamic kind of resistance within Iran
mm,
to battle with the communists, because they thought that Islam is against communism, which it technically kind of is. But then guess what? During 1979, it was a revolution between the neo-Marxists and the Islamists that caused the revolution. All of that funded by the CIA and MI6, and
yeah,
let's not get
MI6,
it
yeah.
twisted.
Just a quick pause, guys. I really do need to talk to you guys honestly for a moment. You know, this channel means everything to me, right? It means absolutely the world to me. I give everything I can. I think it's my favorite part of the day, sitting here and reporting to you guys, or going outside and doing heavy reports outside. And I've been doing this since I was 14. On and off. I've quit multiple times. I've come back. I've quit. I've come back. And now I'm here. And we're here to stay. This is the next 40 years plan for me. But honestly, lately, it's been really heavy on me. Not the work, of course. I enjoy doing this. But carrying the work alone, fighting for stories, trying to highlight these stories that matters, especially when it feels like nobody's listening and need your help. I wouldn't be asking if I truly didn't need your support. So if you believe in what we're doing here, if you believe in what I'm doing, what we're trying to build the next 30 years, if you've ever felt like this show speaks for you, I'm asking you as a friend, please keep this show going. Your support will mean more than you will ever know. And together we can finally wake up the ones who are still asleep with the truth, because the nation is desperately asking for it. So please, hit the first link in the description if you can and support the channel. Thank you so much. Let's get back into the video.
And everything, Khomeini used to live in like a villa in France. So they used to even like provide his accommodation in France, and they even paid for the plane that brought him back to Iran. So anyway, when Khomeini gets into power, he actually backstabs the West. He backstabs America. He goes and raids the American embassy in Iran. If you look at interviews from Khomeini before the revolution and then after the revolution, it's almost like he done a 180. Before the revolution, it's like, all we want is freedom. Women can dress however they want. No, we don't have a problem with the Americans. No, we don't have a problem with British. And within like 2 weeks of getting into power, he like literally done the opposite of exactly everything that he said. So he basically done a reverse card on them. So he betrayed the West. And we had 47 years of darkness. And Americans and the British, they realized what a huge mistake they made. And that's why they tried to actually conquer Iran through the Mujahideen and through Saddam Hussein in the 1980s, the Iran-Iraq war. So unfortunately, Iran has been in a mess. But I think finally the people are rising up. Finally, we have a competent president in charge that knows exactly what he's doing. And hopefully we will see the end of the Islamic Republic very soon.
Yeah. So now that we've given the people some context to how we got here today.
Yeah.
So yourself, obviously, you are a Iranian political analyst.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're fighting for the freedom of Iran. Now, could you get us maybe how was it when you grew up there? How was it? Because a lot of people say, oh, Iran is oppressing people, but they never give, they say the Islamic Republic is oppressing people, but they never actually say what they're doing to oppress them. Could you give us more detail for those people who are sitting there clueless, thinking, this is just propaganda to get the Islamists out? Oh, nobody's actually telling us what they're actually doing wrong. Could you tell us, apart from obviously the killing and, through the protests, but could you just tell us like the everyday life, the oppressions in a just normal Iranian life, not through protesting being killed, but just a normal life that obviously has led to this?
Okay. So look, I think Iran is a very beautiful country, first of all. And I think it's a shame that we're in the situation we are in now. So what happens, people in Iran, when you're born in Iran, ever since you're born, the government has a hand in your life. From the name you can choose, for example, and then when you go in school, for example, the school curriculum is completely controlled by the Islamic Republic. They try to teach you anti-Western, anti-life, like Islamic, like extreme Islamic ideology ever since you're a kid. They try to, I even got beaten up by my teachers in school. Okay. There is no freedom of speech. Even if you say the slightest thing that is, against the narrative of the Islamic Republic, they'll arrest you, they'll throw you in prison, they'll torture you, they'll kill you. So when people say, oh, why don't Iranians rise up? Well, do you think that's easy? It's like, do you have a chance of dying if you go and protest? It's not like in the United Kingdom. Like the stuff we have in the United Kingdom, people say, no, there is no freedom of speech anymore with Keir Starmer. That's like baby stuff compared to what's happening in Iran. So, and the regime has been getting away with it for the last 47 years, right? But luckily now, because of the economic pressures that we have, and also because of everything that has happened in the last 47 years, but especially in the last 3 years, with Mahsa Amini and also the 12-day war and what is happening now, the Islamic Republic has really exposed itself to the world. It has exposed how incompetent they are. They have exposed how barbaric they are. It is exposed how, as I said, paper tiger, because they said, oh, we're going to destroy Israel. If Israel does anything, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And they've been chanting death to Israel, death to America. But when the moment came, they pussied out. Just to put it like bluntly, they exposed how incompetent and uneducated and frankly useless they are. Because during the 12-day war, they got a slap. And the whole world saw that they got a slap. And the Iranians inside Iran saw they got a slap. But this time, now Iranians go out into the streets with this confidence, knowing, look, our oppressors, they're weak, they're pathetic. All they can do is to kill their own civilians. They can't do anything to Israel and they can't do anything to America. And now we have America behind us and we have Israel behind us. So I think the combination of these three factors is very important.
Yeah, you can tell. And I think that has has proven it to be, true, given how many people have taken it to the street. Now, there's this new name, or I wouldn't say new name. This name has existed for time, and obviously we've just been talking about this new name, but there's a face still attached to this name, and it's been out there in the United States, tweeting, making the noise, and rallying the troops, rallying the people in Iran from afar to obviously get this done. And that guy goes by the name of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi.
No,
I don't know.
Reza Pahlavi.
Reza Pahlavi. Sorry, Reza Pahlavi.
Yeah. Mohammad Reza was his father.
Yeah, it was his father. I get mixed up, because it's not that much big difference with the names. So, could you tell us more about this new wave? Because it looks like the revolution. It looks like this Islamic revolution is going down very soon. It looks like we're this close.
Yeah.
I think by the end of this year. Well, I don't want to say very comfortably, because obviously things do change, because a lot of people said exactly the same thing in June or the same thing in 2022. But this time is so different because Trump is waiting in. Given what Trump has done, I mean, it looks like it's coming to an end. And that's going to create a power vacuum. It's going to be unconquered land, and anyone could take it. And the person who a lot of people have been rallying behind is obviously Reza Pahlavi. Could you tell us who is he, for the people who don't know him, and so what's his plan? What's his mission for the Iranian people?
So basically, he's the son of Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, which was the last monarch of before the revolution. Obviously, he has a lot of popularity. He's the front runner, and a lot of people support him. And I think, look, he's the only viable opposition we have at this point. We don't have any other opposition, so we have to stick with him.
Right.
I think what he wants to do is that he wants to be the leader of the transitional government.
It looks
and that
way.
means he will be in charge for the next 2 or 3 years, right? Just to transition from the Islamic Republic to a democracy. And I think what will happen in the next 2 or 3 years, we will probably have a referendum to see whether the people want a republic, something like similar to the American system, or whether they want a monarchy, or whether they want a parliamentary system, or maybe a mixture of all these three together, or mixture of the two of them. So that's remained to be seen. But I think at this moment in time, because he's the front runner, everyone should support him. There's people in the streets of Tehran and all around Iran, actually, shouting his name, saying Javid Shah, Javid Shah. And look, a lot of his popularity is down to his father and his grandfather. But I think Pahlavism is a mentality, is a state of mind. You showed some images now, if you can put them up again, with Mohammad Reza Shah. That's what Iran was like in the past. Yeah, so people are thinking, look, they can compare what was in the past and what was during the Islamic Republic. And obviously they would like to go to the past.
Yeah. Personally,
I think the past is the past, and I think we need to move forward. But if you just compare the two, it's actually day and night. But that's the revolution. But that's the Shah during the revolution, unfortunately. The poor guy, they used to do this to him. But then show the videos of the Shah before, when he was like, right. I think it's the same video, right?
Yeah, it's the same video. Yeah. It's going to be on loop. It's going to come through.
Yeah. So this was the revolution, and this is what happened during the revolution, based on a lie.
Yeah, and it was the way they did it. It was very. So his is obviously his. Them. This is them, right?
Yes. Look, this is the Shah. This was a Shah in America in the 1960s. I think Kennedy invited him or something. Look, just play the video. This was what Iran was. This was the respect we used to get back in the world. You guys stage.
Dressed like royal.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what Iran was, and I think, unfortunately, and we're Persians. I always say this to people: we don't have Arab culture. We're Persians. We're not.
Now it's this.
Yeah, exactly. Compare the last picture with this picture, and you see
this.
Exactly what happened to Iran. The last picture versus this. And I honestly don't know what Iranians were thinking back in the day. I think Iranians back in the day were just uneducated and, frankly, to some extent, religious fanatics. Also, they were lied to by propaganda.
I think the United States, the CIA is very clean whenever they want to get things done. That's all we can say. Whenever
No,
CIA wants to
definitely.
get
But also, I think
things done,
it's an information war. I think the Shah lost the information war. He
yeah.
lost the propaganda war.
Yeah, because when they went in, they set up new televisions, new news broadcasters who made
Yeah.
him look unpopular. And obviously, the
Mm.
perception is always that matter, never the reality. And obviously, the
Yeah.
people thought, like, hey, let's take him out. And now, I'm sure I'm sure those grandpas are probably regretting it now. And
Mm.
they probably have a lot of, and I think they're the ones taking it to the street because they want to give their sons, their grandkids, what they never had. And
Mm.
that's important. That's super important. Now, tell me, how would you like Iran to look like then? Because obviously, it looks like something might get, something big might happen very, very soon. We don't know. Iran, Israel has come out to say that they are ready. They might be able, they might go out and strike Iran. Trump obviously has mentioned that he's locked and loaded. And you've also, a lot of people have, yourself, including yourself, a lot of Iranians have called out on Trump to hold his word because apparently, so far 30 people have been killed. I think more than that, to be fair, but that's just the ones that we can count. So
Mm.
it looks like the pressure is building on these two leaders to strike. And obviously, as you already know, if they do strike, there obviously is inevitable that this man, obviously this Islamic ruling will go down. And how would you want Iran to look like as an Iranian yourself?
Look, if you look at the 1970s and what Iran was, I think Iran was one of the best destinations in the world. I think, according to National Geographic magazine, it was
Yeah,
Tehran was the second most visited city in the world
that's right.
in
Yeah, that's correct.
1975 after Paris.
Hmm.
And that just tells you, like, Tehran, back in the day, people used to go to Tehran like how they go to Dubai now.
Hmm.
Like, you used to have that kind of prestige in the world back in the day. So, and I always say this, look, Iran could have been Dubai times 1,000,
Yeah, true.
right? And because, look, we're not a desert. This is another misconception people have about Iran. First of all, we're not Arabs, we're Persians. Second of all, we have a country in which we have a sea in the north, sea in the south. We have beaches, we have mountains that you can ski on. We
Mm.
have deserts also. We have jungles. We have everything. Like, in terms of natural beauty, we have everything. On top of that, we have a beautiful culture which goes back 3,500 years. No, sorry, 7,000 years. Sorry, 7,000 years. It goes back 7,000 years. And we're open-minded people. We love to party. We're very easy to get along with. We're open-minded, as I said. And also, to top that off, we're one of the richest countries in the world in terms of GDP. We could be like in the top 5 GDPs in the world because we're the second highest gas producer in the world
Mm.
and the third highest oil producer,
Mm.
if I'm not wrong. And
Yeah.
also in terms of metal pressures, and also educated people. We are extremely educated population. We
Mm.
have a lot of doctors and a lot of people like engineers, a lot of people that can build the country. So in terms of potential, I always say Iran can be in the top 5 powers in the world easily
Mm.
because of what we have. We have the land mass, we have the population, and we also have the natural resources. But then obviously all this potential was wasted by the Islamic Republic on groups like Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, building nuclear programs, ballistic missiles. And the people inside Iran know that, and they can see that because they're like, look, why are we starving and why we don't have water and electricity and gas when
Mm.
we're one of the richest countries in the world? Yet you're
Yeah.
sending all this money to Hezbollah fighters, giving them salaries.
Yeah.
So that's the underlying anger to all of this.
Yeah, it makes, I mean, especially for parents who are looking down to the kids and the kids are suffering, starving. And although they're working hard, their their real is basically
Mm,
worth close to nothing.
yeah,
That's why they
yeah,
take into the street. Especially when they
exactly.
see bombs being sent to the Yemens, the Houthis, the Hezbollah, Hamas, and all these other Islamic factions, fraction around around the world. I mean, of course they're angry. They're gonna take it to the street, rightfully so. But
Mm,
but what do you think is gonna look like? How, let's say Iran, these guys get toppled. Okay, cool. Iran has a new leader. For yourself, how would you like it to look like? I mean, I'm sure you got a vision
Well, I would
because
like
you would
it to
want to
be a
visit as
democracy.
well. You would like,
Yeah, look, I would like it to be a democracy. I would like it to be thriving. Look, it's not going to happen overnight.
yeah,
Okay,
of course, yeah,
anyone
of
that has
course not.
this, anyone that has this
It
vision
never,
or dream, it's going to take maybe a decade or two for
mm,
Iran to be where it belongs. Okay,
mm,
and I think for the first 2 or 3 years, Iran's going to be in transition. Okay, what I would like to happen is that we use our natural resources for the people of Iran, for building of Iran, bringing industries, bringing Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, all these kind of top companies to come and invest there, build their plants there. I would like for us to export. I would like us to become a holiday destination. I would like us to be a democracy. Whether it is a monarchy or whether it's a republic, I don't think, because look, I'll tell you one thing, one of the mistakes that the Shah made before he was
mm,
overthrown.
mm,
He was the final decision maker. Like the Shah was the final decision maker. But look at the system they have in the UK. The king or the queen doesn't really do much. It's the parliament that does all the work, right?
mm,
And I think we need a system like that. We probably maybe need a king, but then we need a parliament under him that like deals with day-to-day activities, right?
right.
Or maybe we can have a republic system, like a system like in America, where we can have a president every 4 or 5 years, right?
So,
That remains to be seen. That
mhm,
remains to be seen. It depends on the people what kind of a system they want, right?
yeah, true.
So I think for the first 2 or 3 years we're going to be in transition with Shahzada Reza Pahlavi, and then after that we will see. If essentially what I want Iran to be is to actualize its potential. And as I said, we can be one of the biggest destinations in the world in terms of, because we have great weather, great
Mm,
nature,
yeah.
beaches in the south,
Mm,
beaches in the north, tourism, but also for it to be an industrial powerhouse,
mm.
building things, exporting things, buildings, uh, things like that. Just getting into AI and stuff like that.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. I mean, that I would want to travel there one day. I
For
would want
sure.
to go there one
And in
day.
terms of myself, I would like to help in some way, shape, or form. Maybe to be a foreign minister or ministry, or maybe work in the embassy
Oh,
here, or just be the connection between Iran, Israel,
that's
America, and the UK.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful, bro. Tell me more about that. I'm interested in that. All right. So you see yourself doing something in for the Iranian people in the political world as a top guy in their
Yeah.
parliaments. All right. Tell me, what's your vision on that?
So look, I would like to. First of all, we need to get rid of the Islamic Republic. So I
Yeah,
think
I
I'm
mean
going to
that's
take us.
that's a
Yeah.
yeah that's a
So
definite.
yeah. So look, any way, shape, or form I can help, I can. I would ideally like to be in the foreign ministry, because I think I can be a great ambassador for Iran, maybe for Israel or for the States or for the UK. So I would like to play like an ambassador role or a foreign ministry role,
Mm.
or maybe an embassy role. So that kind of thing. And then hopefully in the future, once I build my profile and build my experience, I will run for office for sure one day.
No, good luck, bro. Good luck.
Thank
That's
you.
a huge ambition right there. All glories to the Most High. Good luck, man. Now,
Praise Lord.
yeah,
Amen.
amen, amen. Now, you mentioned you was in Iran. Sorry, you was
Mm,
in Israel
mm.
6 times the last couple. I think three. You mentioned 6 times the
Three
last.
times in the last 6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 3 times the last 6 weeks. Whoa, that's a lot. All right, and
Mm.
they made an article about you, and they called you the Persian King
Line
and
of Persia. Line of Persia.
Lion of Persian, the Persian King.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of similar, right? Lion of Persia,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they bigged you up on how you support the Israeli people, and
Mm,
uh, and obviously you kind of address the misconception of how Iranian
mm,
people actually see Israeli people. They're not
mm.
as they're not all as hostile to them. So
Yeah.
is there? Do you think the Iranian people are so supportive of Israel in the
I
sense
think
of
so,
like they
yes.
would
I
want
think so. I
to?
think I think Iranians are actually one of the biggest supporters of Israel in the world.
Really?
Yeah, I think Iranians, because as I said in GB News, I think Iranians and Israelis, they have this thing in common, regardless of the 3,500-year history that we have. Because the
Mm.
first ever Bill of Human Rights was signed by Cyrus the Great, which gave rights to Jewish people to live in peace inside Persia. So we have like a historical bond, Iranians and Israelis. A lot of people don't know that, but we do, and it far supersedes Islam and it far outdates Islam and the Arabs. A. But then B, we have a similar problem. We live in a neighborhood we don't really truly fit in.
Right.
So we have this Islamist problem. Obviously, I always use this example. Iran is like, imagine if Hamas took over Israel. That's Iran is like, what the Islamic Republic is like, because that's what happened.
I can't
Imagine if
imagine
Hamas
that.
took over Israel. That's
That's a
exactly what the Islamic Republic is. We had a bunch of terrorists basically taking over a whole country.
Just a quick pause, guys. I really do need to talk to you guys honestly for a moment. You know this channel means everything to me, right? It means absolutely the world to me. I give everything I can. I think it's my favorite part of the day, sitting here and reporting to you guys, or going outside and doing heavy reports outside. And I've been doing this since I was 14. On and off. I've quit multiple times. I've come back. I've quit. I've come back. And now I'm here. And we're here to stay. This is the next 40 years plan for me. But honestly, lately, it's been really heavy on me. Not the work, of course. I enjoy doing this. But carrying the work alone, fighting for stories, trying to highlight these stories that matters, especially when it feels like nobody's listening, I need your help. I wouldn't be asking if I truly didn't need your support. So if you believe in what we're doing here, if you believe in what I'm doing, what we're trying to build the next 30 years, if you've ever felt like this show speaks for you, I'm asking you as a friend, please keep this show going. Your support will mean more than you will ever know. And together we can finally wake up the ones who are still asleep with the truth, because the nation is desperately asking for it. So please, hit the first link in the description if you can and support the channel. Thank you so much. Let's get back into the video.
Yeah, that's
So
a
that's
brutal
what
imagination
we have
there,
that
bro.
in common. We have that in common. Both Iranian population and the Israeli population realize these things. You cannot give an inch to these Islamists. Because then if you lose your society to them, it's very hard to get it back.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of things to address here, boss. So as obviously we're running out of time, but I would want to also bring it back to the UK, because this is a country that I love so dear. And I see, when you played, when we talked about how the Islamic Republic came into being, it looks like the socialists, the communists, and the Islamists was in bed together and helped by the left and stuff. And here in the UK, we're essentially seeing the same play. We got Zara Sultana with a party, we got, your party, and we got, Zach Polinsky, and with so much Islamists, I would call them, or maybe some might be genuine. They just maybe care about their maybe care about Britain, but others, I don't know about them. And we've seen that playing on here right now. Do you think that, I hope not, potentially the UK might go the way Iran went down?
Yes, but hopefully not. I mean, I saw you at the United Kingdom rally, right? With Tommy Robinson. Right. I think rallies like that is very, very important.
That's
and because look, yeah, it could happen if you have people like Keir Starmer in power and Sadiq Khan as the mayor of London. There's every chance that could happen. But I believe that United Kingdom is not beyond saving. It can still be saved. But we need to get rid of this woke mind virus, this kind of globalist politicians like Keir Starmer and Sadiq Khan are just challenging bad ideas. Like, the BBC is being sued by Donald Trump now for $5 billion. We need to bring back freedom of speech. I think the whole thing rests on actually freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And we need to tell people, like, you need to be able to criticize bad ideas without being called racist or sexist or xenophobic or Islamophobic or whatever. So I think it all actually, that's why it's the First Amendment in America. Because if you don't have freedom of speech, then everything else falls with it.
Yeah, true.
So that's the first step for the UK, I think. Bring back freedom of speech. Bring back freedom of speech.
Yeah, obviously we've seen that being eroded away. And we have all these definitions that's coming out, where we got Islamist, Islamophobia definition, which is obviously gonna silence everybody to criticizing them, which will make it easier for them to do, whatever they want, right? In that sense. And obviously then that's dangerous, because obviously then they can, have all this unconquered land, fertile land for them to do and say whatever they want, and nobody will be able to criticize. And of course, that's a problem within itself. But I support the fight, but I also want to address, how would you want the British people to see this fight as? Because when I'm sitting here and when I see a lot of Iranians taking it to the street, and I'm seeing a lot of anti-Iranians taking it to the street, and I'm thinking, is this going to be the next Gaza, Israel type of issue where we're going to be seeing it every Saturday? Because obviously, quite frankly, I have to be honest, I mean, I like when I go to town and I don't see foreign flags. And the last thing I'd want is seeing a lot of Iranians, pro-Iranians, then anti-Iranian, pro-Islamic Rian, and also obviously the new Rian that obviously a lot of people are fighting on. And
You mean Islamic Republic and Iran, yeah?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I would want, because we seen that last, I think 2 days ago in Manchester, where the left took it to the street, pro Maduro, and we're seeing a lot of the people on the right are like anti-Maduro, and it's all just foreign flags. And I'm thinking, hey, we have a lot of problem in this country itself. So how would you want it to play out here in the UK?
Okay, look, this is the first thing I would say. First of all, Iranian peoples are the biggest ally of the Union. True Iranians, true Persians are actually the biggest ally of Britain. And even if you remember from United Kingdom, there was actually a lot of Persian flags in the crowd. If you didn't notice, I have a video of it. There was Persian flags. There was Israeli flags. There was Persian flags. So I think Iranians, Israelis, are actually biggest ally of United Kingdom. People like Keir Starmer are anti-Britain. I think Iranians are actually more pro-Britain than people like Keir Starmer.
Right.
And we need to build this strategic alliance, and that is the alliance we need to build. USA with Trump, the United Kingdom with people like Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage, Israel with Netanyahu, and a free Iran. And I think that is the unity of these four countries will lead to us being able to battle the World Economic Forum or battle all this woke left mind virus. So I think, and I also think it's the Islamic Republic that has been actually brainwashing people through Qatar, sending all this money to university campuses and paying media outlets to talk nonsense. So if the Islamic Republic of Iran falls, not only the Middle East will be safe, the West will be a lot more safe. So it's in your self-benefit to support the Iranian people to overthrow the Islamic Republic.
Yeah, I want the Iranian people to topple the Islamic Republic, but I wouldn't want to see a lot of foreign flag in our country. And I'm saying that respectfully.
You wouldn't look, if you're on his street, you would barely see another protest. The whole protest is actually something that is, again, we both have the same enemy. The Islamic Republic is your enemy too. It's not just my enemy.
I agree.
So it's your enemy too.
I know.
Hamas is your enemy. Hezbollah is your enemy.
It's everybody's enemy.
ISIS
Gay for Gaza is their enemy too.
Funding all these people, Islamic Republic. So I think once the Islamic Republic falls, then you won't see any other flags because we have nothing else to fight for. The war is done.
Yeah, but look at, so you see what I see here. This is a great fight, and I'm with you on this. I'm chanting for the Iranian people. I've made several videos calling, for them to go out there and take it to the street and addressing the misinformation from the left too about the Iran situation. But you see this alliance, right? Because Trump is an old man. He's not going to run again, right? And when you create that great alliance, the next thing is, who's going to take over after Trump? Is it going to be Gavin Newsom? Is it going to be J.D. Vance? Is it going to be Marco Rubio? We're not sure. Who's going to take over in Israel? Because Benjamin Netanyahu, it looks like he's going to lose the next election. Who's going to take over? Is it going to be a lefty, Israeli? Because obviously they are gaining a lot of momentum right now.
This is the thing. Because
that's what I'm saying. Do you get it, right? So we're losing time.
But look, this is the thing. Once the act is done, because we have momentum now. Because even Trump has the midterms in 2026.
And he just predicted that they might impeach him. So
this is the thing. We have a window of maybe like 6 months to get this shit done.
I agree with you.
So once it's done, even if another government comes, they can't be like, oh, let's reinstall the Islamic Republic.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Exactly. But we have a window now, and we need to capitalize on this window. But also another thing, I really think the pendulum is swinging. I really think the woke mind virus is slowly dying. I think the UK will go to the right. Reform Party will most likely win the next election. There's going to be a swing to the right in France, in Spain. It's already happened in Poland. Italy already has I think there's going to be a swing to the right. Okay.
Yes.
In Europe, in America, and I think also after Trump, there's going to be J.D. Vance or Rubio. I just do not see the Democrats winning the next election. I just do not see it.
Yeah, but
So I think we have a window. We have a golden generation now. We have a golden opportunity for the
the
next
golden
5 to 10
age,
years.
yeah.
Golden age, the new golden age, to be able to implement a new world order.
Yeah. Obviously, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be hard. Of course, they're going to play. They always play dirty. The information war is going to be rampant. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to stay fierce and fact check these guys, and also, also
Win
have
the information war.
win the information war. Which obviously you mentioned that Israel has been losing the information war.
It's called the Eighth Front, and that's why we're here. We need to win the information war, because you need to win the ground war. But what actually affects whether you have support to win the ground war or not is the information war, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's it.
We're doing a great job at it. So,
well, thank you so much, Yunus, for coming on the show, man. I really do appreciate your hard work. I mean, you've put yourself in a lot of trouble recently. Could you tell us what happened to you just before we wrap up?
Okay, cool. So, I was attacked outside the embassy, Iranian embassy, by a group of thugs that claimed I have sworn at Pahlavi, that I have made negative videos at Pahlavi, which is completely untrue, completely unfounded. As a matter of fact, I challenge anyone watching, go and find the videos that I supposedly claim, that I supposedly swore at Pahlavi. So anyway, they surround me, the 5 or 6 of these people, and they make this ridiculous statement. And I'm like, when did I swear at Pahlavi? But before I could even finish my sentence, they start throwing punches and kicks.
Whoa.
And then I was like, okay, I need to either run away or I need to fight back. And there's no way you can take on 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if I run away, then these fuckers are going to get away with it. So what I done, I actually pushed them out the way, grabbed my phone, and I start filming them. And then once I start filming them, they get all of a sudden panicked. You can see like they're in front of me. They're trying to come forward, but they know I'm filming. And in the video, I'm saying, when did I swear at Pahlavi? When did I swear at Pahlavi? So, and then some guy comes and sucker punches me from behind without me seeing. I start bleeding from my mouth and my nose. And I basically, at that point, I was like, okay, I need to get out of here, because they could, like, they threatened to stab me. They threatened to kill me. I went to a police van. The police saw everything. I also have the footage of it. They took a footage of me bleeding. I gave my statement, and then I go to the hospital to have an x-ray to see if everything is okay. Luckily, I'm fine. But I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'3". I've done like martial arts before. I work out. Any other person that would have been in that situation would have probably just completely jumped and completely destroyed. So I'm lucky in the aspect that I got away barely without a scratch, right? So anyway, I come home. I was in a state of shock. I was like, these people claim to be pro-Pahlavi, but are they really? Because once I was in Israel, one of the IDF and one of the Mossad guys told me that, actually on social media, there's a lot of IRGC bots pretending to be pro-Pahlavis. And then they target people. So you think your own kind is attacking you in order to discourage you. Does that make sense? So look, whatever it is, whether these guys are IRGC or whether they actually were misinformed about me swearing at Pahlavi, it doesn't matter. I got assaulted, and I think the British authorities should do something about this, because now I'm scared to walk in the streets, because at some of these rallies I have to give speeches, I have to do things, and I can't be looking over my shoulder. And look, in due time, I will release the footage. I'm speaking in Farsi in it, but I will put subtitles.
Nice.
The police told me not to release it because it might affect their investigation.
Right.
But I was just thinking to myself, like, what the fuck, man? Like, honestly, there's no one that's fighting harder than me to, raise the flag of Persia and Iranians all around the world. As I said, I've been to Israel. I'm literally putting my life on the line.
Yeah, I'm
going to America, trying to do my best, and then I get attacked outside the embassy. It just doesn't add up. It just really doesn't add up for me. So I think I just need to be more careful. And obviously, I don't want this issue to distract from what is happening in Iran. I think that's what's more important. I don't want to make it about myself, but we have to be careful that things like this will happen. This could be like, even when the revolution happened, a lot of these IRGC members, or the same mentality behind it, might change colors all of a sudden and, try to infiltrate in a different way. So we have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, makes sense. But thank you so much, Yunus. I mean, I hope, obviously, I don't have that much trust in the Metropolitan Police, because obviously a lot of things have happened to me as well. and within 30 days the case was always closed, right? So I don't know how long they'll take before they tell you that case is closed, but I hope they do something for you, because this is a big fight, and this is a long-term fight, and the last thing you want is you're obviously thinking if you should go to fight for your country or not, and that's disgraceful, especially happening in the first country, Great Britain. It's crazy, but I really appreciate what you've been doing. And where can the people find you?
So you can follow me on my Instagram, Younes Rocks, YOUNESSROCKS.
So
I also have my X. It's all pretty much all Younes Rocks, but then the difference on my X is only one S for Younes. Everywhere else is two S's. YouTube the same. I'm sure you will collaborate. With my YouTube channel.
We'll put all the links in the description. Say it again.
Please put all my links in the description.
Yeah, for sure.
And please follow me. Your support matters a lot to me, and it gives me the courage to keep on going and fighting harder and harder.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. And obviously, we got some Iranians watching now on this channel. So, what's your message to them? I don't know whether there's a country.
I will say it in Farsi.
Watching, so say in Farsi.
I will say it in Farsi. It means Piruzi nazdik ast, means victory is close. Piruzi nazdik ast. Nur bar tariki piruz ast. It means light always overtakes darkness or shines over darkness. And Javid Shah. And Javid Shah means long live the king. But we're not necessarily just speaking about Shahzada Reza Pahlavi. We're speaking about the mentality of Pahlavism and the mentality of freedom. So those things I say to my fellow compatriots, and I hope Iran will be freed soon. And maybe one day we can all meet in Tehran and we can do a podcast in Tehran.
One day we can meet, bro. One day we can meet. I wouldn't mind going out there, and we can go to the beaches. We can have all the cigars, whatever, all the good food. The Asian food is always the best. I have to say. I'm sorry, but thank you so much for coming on. This is your Frontline on Information War. We're building something big here. I don't know if you know, but the amount of things I'm going to announce to you next year, it's going to be insane. We got so many stuff that will be happening next year, in God's grace, for sure. Put God in front of it. So, and for us to get to do those stuff, this show has to grow. It has to grow to the point where it can fund those activities. It can fund the travel back and forth. It can do that. I don't know if you guys know, but we were demonetized for 9 months this year. So we basically have not made anything from YouTube. Okay, some might argue, yeah, you got the monetization in September. Okay, September 17th, to be correct. Okay, then obviously 17th, we didn't make anything in September then. So we made October, November, and obviously December. And those are like tipping toeing numbers, like where it's like a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. Those things only cover a trip to London. Never mind going and back. Never mind taking the team. Never mind upgrading the software. Never mind in paying the subscription to keep the channel going. No. So I need your support. If you like what we do here and you feel like, I like what this guy is doing. I resonate with his message. I resonate with what it stands for. I would like to see him go on. I would like to see him stand strong. Please help. Because next year is going to be huge. It's going to be big. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So then I was born in a refugee camp in Tanzania. At the time, there's so many people ran there. A lot of people were going there, real refugees, after being butchered from the civil war that erupted in Congo. My parents applied for asylum to all the countries. They waited. Now, then I was born in that camp, the same camp. I'm talking tents. I was born there. Now, we're waiting and waiting and waiting. For 14 years, we were waiting. Now, of course, these guys could choose to wait as well, but these guys hijacked that and they come in the country illegally. Now, the media will brand you guys racist, far right, the worst people here, the worst group here. How come the good group didn't invite me to go speak over there?
So I call this the greatest awakening because all the way from over there's hundreds of people turning up. It's a Saturday, for God's sake. They could easily go around and watch football and have fun, go on a date, do all the lovely stuff they could do. But instead, they want to stand here, rain or not. They're ready to send a message. And I believe the message will be received today. Thank you so much.
For anybody in the back who struggled to hear this young man's story, one incredible, brave young man.
Oh yes, I agree.
British Christian values, regardless of his own beliefs. Let's hear it for Baraka.
Thank you.